Woo! What's up, everybody? Going live right motherfucking now. See, I'm gonna have a nice little debate with people who's gonna tell me about crime in the black community. Trust me, we're gonna talk about some motherfucking crime and crime statistics. Well, we're here. We're live. We are live. Do me a favor, Iori. Let people know who was at the screen. Know that I started it up already. The link is in the chat. The link is in the chat. You got to turn off your YouTube, man. And to answer your question about them trailer parks and crime, there's just as much crime, if not more, in those trailer parks than it is in the inner city. Hello, can you hear me?
Are you there?
Can you hear me?
I hear you. Are you there?
I'm here. We're live.
Okay, brother. All right. So now, what were you saying on BGS chat?
The same stuff I said here.
All right. So now, let me break it down to you. So now,
we're not gonna do emotional arguments. Show me that.
And I won't interrupt you, and we're gonna be cordial. So now, let me know when I can speak.
Go ahead.
All right. So now, Charles Faulkner, you are a Baltimore police, a Baltimore cop. I don't know your rank. I don't really. I'm not going to say I don't care. So you're a Baltimore police officer, and no disrespect to you, I respect what you do. We are in the same line of business. So, I mean, everyone that you. I mean, we don't work in the same city, but everyone that you arrest, lock up, or you bring to us. And let me give you my background. I've been in the Department of Corrections for 5 years, 5 going on 6. I'm a 31-year-old male. So now, I started off in the Supermax, where you have the Supermax, you have segregation, high seg. You also have special parole. I mean, you also have, you also have, I don't know how to say it, but they call it special circumstances, meaning guys who assault officers and guys who assault inmates who basically weren't fit to be in general population. Also, you have death. Hello, you there?
Yeah, what's up, man?
What's up?
Going on? Yeah, I'm a new sub.
Hold on.
Thank you.
What I say?
Thank you. Finish your statement.
Go ahead, man.
Thank you for the sub too, by the way. Thank you.
You also have a guy.
Okay. Not trying to be disrespectful, but I want you to get to the point that you were arguing.
All right. So at the end of the day, it's like this. I used to work in the Supermax, and now I work in the jail. So for a urbanized city, a local jail, and one of the high populous areas that I work in. So now you have the dorms, and then you have the blocks. So now with the dorms, you have a lot of guys who are in there for drug offenses, and then you have a lot of guys who are in there for domestic violence. So most men who are in there for domestic violence, and most of the white males are in there for drug offenses, because a lot of people don't want to speak about this, but a lot of white males are getting locked up for drug offenses because of what's going on in our society today.
You know what a lot of white men get locked up for?
What is that?
Sex offenses.
And exactly.
They get locked up for see this is the argument that I'm gonna put to you, right?
Okay.
Number one, how many times have white people had their charges overturned from homicide to manslaughter? So when you do the uniform crime report for the FBI, which all law enforcement agencies have to do, right? And we also get audited, by the way, for people who don't know this.
Well, I can't. Well, let me say
So
this.
in other words, let me finish. So in other words, we get audited, especially being in Baltimore City and like major cities, because Baltimore has what? Roughly the 7th or 8th largest police department in the country. So when we go through training, our training is very strict and very detailed. I mean, it gets to the gritty. Like, there's very few police departments that can outdo us, if any. Okay? Because the guidelines for the MPTC, Maryland Police and Training Commission, is a very strict commission. You can't just be some Eddie Griffin motherfucker, coming out and West Bumfuck want to be a police officer, because it will not even equate. So number one, when you see a lot of these crimes, and even to this day, how many of the complaints do people have that a white guy and a black guy get charged for, stolen auto? Same crime, they could be 21. How many times is that white guy going to get less time, even if he has the same amount of charges as that black guy? They audited a judge who gave a white guy, 3 years, a year and a half, with a year and a half probation. And they gave the black guy about 5-10 years. Same judge. Both guys were the same age. So when you start calling people terrorists, realize this, right? Realize it. Is there anything right now that anybody commit in the black community that's religious ideology? Is it against political ideology?
No.
So the thing about it is, you were given the wrong vocabulary. One, that debunks your argument. Because if you really want to say that, if you're not going to call white guys who shoot up schools because they feel as though they represent anarchy, or they were bullied, you cannot call black young men terrorists. You could call them criminals because they committed a criminal act, but you cannot call them terrorists when they have done nothing of the such. When there's plenty of white people, such as a Timothy McVeigh, who did something that was an ideological threat against society. No, it does not make them terrorists. That makes them a criminal, because what they did was a criminal act. That they make a terrorist act is something that you're doing against society as a whole. Okay?
Yeah, that's facts.
So when you fucking commit a crime, if I'm robbing you, I'm not doing it for political or religious gain. I'm not even doing it for social economic gain, because that's a whole genre. That's a criminal act. So if you're gonna come and argue and make a debate and argue, please get the vocabulary straight first.
Okay.
By the way, like, share, subscribe to this motherfucker. This is going to be a good one. Who's next?
Hello?
Go ahead.
Hey, Charles. Hey, Charles.
What's up?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I subbed you, Charles. I subbed your channel.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate the conversation, and I find it interesting that someone would say, black people, especially black men, are, from what I gathered, are innate criminals or terrorists. I just find that interesting. I would pose the question, who were the jails originally created for? Just that question there. Because if you know anything about history, before these jails was put up, we was on the plantations, right? And when you ran away from the plantations, what did they do? You see, they wasn't chasing white people. And when the plantation,
we got to look at modern policing, right?
Right.
Where did modern policing start, especially for the West? Anybody?
Can I say something?
Let me
Is it going to be the question that I have?
Go ahead.
All right, so now
I'm asking if anybody knows where modern policing started.
it's not really about who the modern police started.
Yes, it is.
But at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, a modern day, I'm not saying that a lot of these brothers who are locked up should be locked up, but you have to understand what I'm saying. So now, like I told you, I work in the dorms and I work in the blocks. So now with the blocks of the correctional facility, you have a lot of men who are up there for high bonds. Meaning people men committed crimes as far as murder.
Hold up. Before you finish, can you please answer my question? Do you know where modern policing started?
I mean, if you want to say that it was the slave codes and then
No. I'm just asking a question. Do you know where modern police started?
Well, that's what I'm gonna say.
Modern police started in the mid 1800s in England with Sir Robert Peel.
Yeah, but when did it
What
start?
do they call British police officers? They call them
when
bobbies.
did it start in America?
Robert Peel.
When did it start in the United States?
It did not start in the United States.
I'm talking about. So when it was drafted over to the United States, what did they call it?
What are you trying to say, Charles? What are you trying to say, Charles? Is when did the American style of policing start?
It started when the modern American started over there in Sir Robert Peel in the mid 1800s. Because number one, if you really want to go by something, and this is where a lot of Hotep motherfuckers get it wrong. Bounty hunting started with that slave capture shit. So for all the people who are bounty hunters, and I know a lot of black people who are, guess what? It started from slavery.
Absolutely, because they always had police. They always had police.
Yes.
From the beginning of the time, they always had police.
Way before then. But guess what? The police did not handle when a slave ran away, did they? No. They had bounty hunters for that.
But the thing is that the thing about going by American history, a lot of these brothers is tying all that in together. They tie police and bounty hunters in together.
When people tie a lot of shit in, they, like BGS said earlier, people don't do their fucking research.
Yeah, you ain't lying about the bounty hunters. Because they had an old saying back in the West, and it's also in the South. It doesn't take a saint to catch a sinner.
Exactly.
That's what they used to say. If they put a price on your head, you doing some dirty ass shit, you gonna get that. You gonna try to get that fucking money.
Because guess what? You had plenty of black people who were actually federal fucking marshals during slavery.
And that's why with that Harriet, and that's why we.
I'm sorry.
Can I add on to that?
Harriet.
Wait a minute. We're gonna do this. Okay. We're gonna do this one at a time. Y'all can debate, y'all can argue, but we're gonna be orderly, okay? See, I am articulate. I am articulate is almost Shakespearean. We could be on some nigga shit as well, but we're gonna be respectful about it.
No nigga shit. We on some respectful shit.
We're gonna be on some respectful shit. So who's next?
Can I say something? Go ahead. You can go ahead, man. My name is.
I'm going my train of thought. Go ahead.
If you want me to go on, I go by ITP. So and I wanted to add on to something too that a lot of people don't know about slavery. Did you know that it was a law, especially in the 1700s, the late 1700s, that any military man that was drafted, they had to go patrol the plantation down the south, and that's a fact as well. You can go look it up. So any military man from the 1700s and also 1800s, before the Civil War, they had to patrol the plantation that the slaves were working in, because a lot of those slaves, they were back then. They were real rowdy. They didn't just pick cotton just for picking cotton. They were trying to find means to escape and get free as well.
You got to remember this, right?
You said what?
I said, I'm just saying, you got to remember this. It's like when you see a lot of this stuff that goes on historically, a lot of people do not want no historical fact. They come out of speculation. And I'm pretty sure the gentleman on this panel actually researched it, right?
Yeah, you're correct about that. And I've really noticed that.
Yes, sir.
Because a lot of anybody heard of Bass Reeves?
No, I never heard that name before.
I got Google that shit. And that's what a lot of people don't do.
Bass Reeves was one of the baddest motherfuckers that your Long Ranger, your fucking Django's, and a lot of people were based off of his legend. A black man locking up plenty of white people. The motherfucker was so strict. When his son had a warrant, he locked his ass up.
Damn. You heard of the Rufus Buck gang?
Heard about it?
Yeah, the Rufus Buck gang. They was a misbreed of black and Native American group that went. They was killing, raping, and they robbed the banks to to get money to shoot more crackers. So to say, yeah, you should check them out.
So, what we're gonna hear. I want to hear everybody's argument of why. About whoever had a debate about why do you think the poor white communities don't have as much crime as the poor black community?
You ran away from the plantation. What do they do?
Well, they do. Well, see me. I'm gonna speak because I usually try. I follow y'all.
Whatever's in the background off, man.
No, that's not me. Somebody got the playback going on in the background.
It's not me.
Somebody got.
Yeah, I'm muted, man.
You too.
Somebody was asking me who has more crime, the poor white areas or the poor black areas.
Yeah, I heard one of them brothers ask you that. See what this situation is kind of funny with me because I grew up.
You gotta speak up a little bit.
No, see, with this situation is a funny situation with me because I grew up the street life. I grew up playing cops and robbers with dudes like Charles. So I'm considered a hood dude. I'm a dude that I lived that hood dude life my whole life. So rarely I jump on Charles panels, but I follow Charles because Charles be on some real shit. Because I got family members that that are police. I got a few of them. That's police. It is like Charles would know what I'm talking about when you got like a family member or something that they deal with, whatever, but they know they could kick it with you. So I know Charles is real with his shit. Usually I wouldn't jump on those type of panels like this because I'm a street dude. But y'all brothers gotta understand, white people definitely do just as much as we do, but they don't glamorize their shit. With black people, we like glamorizing hood shit. They don't glamorize the hood part of their life. They got a hood when it comes to white people. They got a hood where a lot of shit go down just like us. But like Charles was saying on BGS panel, they don't get tossed to the side like that. A lot of them do. They're gonna make sure that they throw a few of them in there just to make us feel like we're part of their situation. But the majority of them that's locked up be us for bullshit.
Yeah, but why do you
wouldn't put their people?
Why do you think we're locked up like that? Why do you think we've been put in this position like that?
Because we wasn't brought here to be on the same playing field. It doesn't benefit them for us to be on the same playing field. That's why they try to hide shit from us.
Right.
We have to search to find shit.
Go ahead, finish. You got to speak. You got to get closer to your mic or speak up. You're coming in low. But finish with your
I'm
thing.
trying to get my right. No, but I'm saying it doesn't benefit them. It doesn't benefit them for us to be on the same playing field as them. That's not what they brought us here for. They didn't bring us here to be on the same playing field as them. There's going to be a minute amount of us that can play the same game as them. That's so they could make the whole feel like we all had that same shot. But for the most part, that's not what they're trying to do. They don't want us to be on the same playing field or else who's going to be the leader? If we all on the same playing field, who's going to be the one in power? When you're trying to have power, you don't want the people that's under you to be on the same playing field as you. You make them feel like they could be there, and that's why they gave us Obama, to make us feel like we could be there. But we'll never be on their level as long as we move the way we move. We moving on autopilot. They know they don't have to do nothing with us no more. They know we on autopilot.
I'm gonna ask
they
you
know we
one
fucked up in the game.
I'm gonna ask you one question. Do you blame the cure, or do you blame the treatments, or do you blame the cure for the disease? Because at the end of slavery of 1865, we had 1/2 of 1% of the country's wealth. In 2020, how much do we have now?
A minute amount of it.
We still have 1/2 of 1% of the country's wealth. So you're telling me, right?
But we so.
You're telling me at any time where we made to be equals in this country, are we still to this day? Shout out to Underrated Darkness for the Cash App. Woo! To this day,
underrated.
Are we supposed to be on equal footing? Because last time I checked, did black people have COINTELPRO against them?
Listen, at the end of the day, when it comes down to the culture. A lot of black folks, they're drawn into the culture and things
What
of that
culture?
nature. What do you say?
What culture?
The culture of the black community, when it's very negative. I'm telling you. So what I was trying to break down to it is I work in the dorms and I work in the block. Dorms, where you have a lot of black men who have been subjected to domestic violence. And I'm not saying that these men, went off on their women and they actually teed off on their women and they beat them. Women use the police against them. I talk to these men all the time.
Do you know what the rate is for domestic violence?
What is the rate?
It's 50-50.
Exactly. So now, at the end of the day, when it comes to
and the black community is actually 64% of the women who started.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. So what I'm trying to say that is a lot of these men who are locked up for domestic violent issues. And I'm not even speaking primarily on hold on.
Most black men are arrested for nonviolent crimes.
Yeah, exactly. Now hold on. I really want to make this point. A lot of these black men are not arrested for violent crimes. They're arrested for domestic crimes, and they're not even just black men.
Okay, I got to correct you on this.
No, but domestic. But the way you said, is domestic? Is it violent? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is it domestic violence?
That's where your argument is getting shaky, man. Domestic violence is considered a violent crime.
Domestic is violence. Majority of black people that's locked up right now is for petty drug charges.
It's for drugs. It's for
drug charges that white people get away with.
That's the difference between the black males who are locked up in the dorms, who are locked up in the.
I understand, bro. Hold on. Let me jump in real quick, bro. I understand what you're saying. I've been there.
Let me ask you this question. Hey, no disrespect to you. Have you ever been locked up?
That's what I was just about to tell you. Like I was just saying when I jumped on this panel, the first thing I was saying is I'm a dude that come from that life, and usually I wouldn't jump on a panel like this because Charles is an officer, and me being a street dude, we get leery behind these type of things. But like I said, I have a lot of police folk that's in my family, so I understand where it comes from, and my life has changed right now. Like I lived that life, and I did what I did in that life. I got 1,000,001 stories of that shit, but that shit ain't about nothing.
And I'm glad you said something about that, because I'm gonna get to that in a minute, right? Number one, majority of black men are arrested and incarcerated, to be exact, because of nonviolent crimes such as drugs, possession, and or distribution.
Absolutely.
Child support, FTA, especially during COVID when the courts were closed, and things of that nature. We don't have a lot of black men arrested for violent shit.
That's not usually what it is. It's rare.
So,
and to go back to the question the brother was trying to ask you, like if I was locked up. Yes, I was locked up for a year. I did a year in New York City. I did a year.
Right.
So I know about the dorms and the cells. I know about that. The dorms is usually for low level dudes, and high level dudes be in the cells. So
we got that question now. A question for the old Faulkner man, right? And I'm gonna read it. It's from Jalen Rodney. NBA YoungBoy is praised. CJ King is ridiculed. At Charles Faulkner Jr. That's the culture he's speaking of. Is that the white man's fault? Yes.
It is. Yes, it is.
Yes.
It is.
Once again,
it is.
Do you blame the victim of the crime or do you blame the criminal? If white people took your family for slavery, ridiculed your man, and said the only man who you can respect is a nigga who can fuck, and that's all he can do, and make a whole bunch of babies, and you think that you're making it out and you're doing well because you're so-called independent, when you really think about it, you're the most dependent motherfucker in the fucking world. And you're gonna say, oh, is that because of black women? No. Because guess what? Every black woman really wants this. And I'm gonna should I tell them game?
Go ahead. I know in this space they don't like the word game. I know in this space,
if y'all really want to look at the average black woman, right? The average black woman really wants Tupac in a suit with a fucking JD.
Exactly.
They don't want a black man to be proud of his accomplishment. Like I said before, they want you to be like the pit bull. Get your ass in the corner until I need you to attack.
Now,
okay.
And that's part of the training they get. When you hear the feminists speak, that's the training they giving these women, and it benefits them. You gotta remember. So if something benefits you, you're gonna go towards that, and that's what a lot of our women is doing. They feel like it benefits them.
You got to realize NBA YoungBoy is rare.
Yeah,
Okay,
how many
I like
rappers you know? Come on now.
I like to speak on this shit real quick.
Hold
Okay,
on,
Mm-hmm.
real quick, Charles.
hold on. We'll get to that, but I'm gonna speak on
No,
that.
no, 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 real quick.
No, you don't do that, man.
Nah, let him go.
You
He's the
gotta wait
host.
your
Let him
turn.
go. Let him go.
You gotta wait your
Let him
turn.
go.
Hold your thought. We're gonna hold on. We're gonna get to that.
I'm out.
NBA, huh? You said you're what?
I'm taking a 10-minute intermission.
So you got to
You
take a
gotta go
10
think about it.
What do you have to say, man?
You gotta go think about it.
No, no, no. I'm about to take a shower and do everything. I gotta go to my girl's house.
All right, just mute yourself. So if you want to come back here, the link's gonna be in the chat.
All right, thank you.
If the moderators can do so, please put the link in the chat.
All right, brother. Thank you.
Thank you. See, let me go back to this. NBA YoungBoy can be praised, but they really see females do not like to say they want CJ King. They really do. Okay. It's just that a lot of them cannot come up to his status. They don't want to admit the reality set before them that CJ King is too good for them. No offense, he's not a bad looking brother. He's a handsome brother. With a JD,
They don't want to get shamed by their sisters.
he's gonna get that motherfucker could literally get the pick of women. See, that's the reason why I hate the term educated lane. Because the 2.5 years I went to college, there were some brothers who could slay the women. More so than Pookie and Ray Ray. Okay? They were slinging dick. Okay?
See, I understand what you're saying, Charles. But with the educated lame thing, is because the educated lames is wishing they could have been as Pookie and Ray Ray. So that's why they use that like an offensive term, because they see like Pookie and Ray Ray making it happen. When a lot of these dudes just don't have game, and I hear that in the space where dudes are fighting against game like game doesn't exist. Even if you're an educated dude, you're still using game. Just you bringing yourself to the table and letting the female know who you are is you spitting some type of game. I'm spitting game with you that I am a dude that's worthy of messing with. That's all game. Everything in life is a game.
Exactly, but they don't
hear game. They don't hear that. They don't understand that.
But it's like when I try to explain to everybody about crime. Crime is dependent on 3 things: your proximity, because you only can commit crime to people who close to you, majority of the time, unless you're doing credit card scamming or some pyramid scheme.
Or if you just a dude that just moves around, go to different states, and you just if you're a dude like that, you gotta have pull.
Yeah, most times that's rare. It's your proximity, it's your lack of opportunity, and your desperation. So when the question was asked about what about the poor white trash? Yes. Where do you think we get all the fucking opiates from? Where do you think we get all the meth from? The white boys be killing the fucker. See, the difference is they don't promote white on white crime.
Exactly.
See, a lot of motherfuckers don't understand. Here's American culture. We hold tight to our Bibles and guns. Who use more guns than white people?
Exactly.
We started this fucking country by the gun.
You don't hear white boys talking about, the dude that's in the white trailer trash, he's the dude that's getting it popping. But with us, we hear them say, with black people, they say that, the dude that's in the streets getting money, he's that dude. You don't hear that on the other side.
See, here's my thing.
We don't glamorize fuckery. With black people, we like glamorizing fuckery, even when it comes to our stars. I know a lot of people live their life vicariously through the stars. Even when we look at our stars ain't moving like the other side stars.
See, here's the problem. When we talk about crime and we talk about jail, because jail's supposed to be a deterrent, a punishment, and a rehabilitation. So, is it really a deterrent? Because motherfuckers look like they're getting a rite of passage out of jail. Is it really a punishment?
Exactly.
Or motherfuckers are getting
Exactly. This is
joints
what
in
I grew
jail?
up in.
Is it
Yep.
really a rehabilitation? Because now you're more likely, you're probably 65 to 70% more likely to return. So when we look at
Absolutely.
the terminologies of shit, if anybody want to debate me on this shit, come on, there's the link. We dealing with fire and smoke today, and I ain't talking about my goddamn cigars and lighter. See, we're gonna do some factual shit because I hate it when people talk about, well, the slave catchers. No, the slave catchers were based on bounty hunters. Modern policing started with Sir Robert Peel. Okay, you don't have to believe me. Google the motherfucker. How do we know
What it is, Charles? What it is, Charles, is that when you come from the hood, you find one term, and you basket everything into that one term. That's the hood terminology of everything. And that's how it is with the police. They like people hear the story, like everybody know what the story is. They might even heard the true story, like somebody actually read it, like a dude like you. You actually read it. You giving them knowledge and game right now, but they still try to tie it into. Yeah, I hear that, but it's all one and the same.
Oh yeah, and if homeboy, if Jalen Rodney want to come up there, if Brownie want to come up there, they're welcome to come. I mean,
and like I said, like I'm telling people in the audience, I'm a hood dude. I know y'all see me around in these chat rooms. Like I've been around, a lot of people know me right now, but I'm a hood dude at heart, but in my mind, I'm logic with the way I move. This is why I was a good hood dude. And I could say this on the panel with an officer. Like I was a good hood dude. He knows what I'm talking about. Because he's bumped into those type of guys that were smart hood dudes. Like, yo, I understand you doing some hood shit. But because I've had police tell me this shit before. Like, yo, I know you're a hood dude, but yo, you got to do this shit right.
That's what
if you're gonna be a hood dude, do it right.
I'm born and raised from Baltimore City, East Baltimore City. Okay.
I'm a New York City native.
So
we all northeast and somewhere.
Where there's a hood, there's a home. Okay.
Yeah, they all over this. They all over there.
So I am very comfortable being in anybody's hood. Okay. So when it comes to a lot of this shit that people want to debate about crime and we got single fault, guess what? You got plenty of countries. I even named one was Iceland. Iceland has a high single mother rate, 65%. Do you think they have a lot
like the brother did? No. But it's like the brother did earlier. He's gonna push the goalposts. Like I'm not talking about Iceland. I'm talking about United States. No, this type of shit goes on, and this shit goes on everywhere.
But that's called dirty intellectualism. You don't want to clean it all up and actually take the time to clean the motherfucker. You know, if somebody leaves a dirty dish on the table and don't clean it, that's how they get their intellectual debates. You're going to tell me, sit here, BGS didn't even bring up the chat and I named countries for them. I said, but yet, do you say anything about the white boys who come from two-parent households who are bullied? Might add you.
Exactly.
White people suffer from a lot more fucking diseases and mental illness than any fucking body.
Exactly.
They commit more atrocities against. Last time I checked, how we look as terrorists, how many nuclear bombs did we drop?
Exactly.
How many mass executions or genocide did we commit?
When you look at American history, how many of those that you know that came from a black person?
Exactly.
How many of them type of stories you know came from a black person? But the craziest thing I think we had was like the DC sniper, as of recent.
How many?
And he ain't even really killed that many people.
Thank you. It's called the violence. That's how you know. I actually can fucking read. Like, share, and subscribe. Hit the goddamn Cash App because we going in tonight. And I'm going to educate some motherfuckers. See, people think police are stupid. See, people think police are fucking stupid like I don't know shit.
And for all those listening, Charles, this is Cops and Robbers. Like I told y'all, I'm a hood dude. I'm a dude. I lived my whole life. I lost my parents when I lost my parent when I was young, and me and my father got in a scuffle because I was a street nigga. Me and him got in a scuffle when I was 13 years old. And he put me out. He's like, yo, well, you got to go live on your own then. Like, yo, you can't be here if you want to live by my shit. My mother died when I was 13. I went to go stay with my pops, and me and him scuffled at 13 because I was a street dude. I was growing up in the street, and I lived my life a street dude ever since then. So I know a lot about street nigga shit. I'm the epitome of a nigga that grew up in the street, but I was a smart street nigga.
But that's a lot of guys.
I was a smart street nigga.
But
I was a gang leader. I controlled 200 dudes. Where I stood and had 200 dudes at attention like it was the army.
But here's another thing that you don't, Kane. See, when we talk about a fatherless nation or community in the black community, if you really look at it, it's really not. Think about it. You were
right about that. I learned from older niggas. The shit that I learned. I learned it from older dudes.
And
I ain't learned it from my mama. So
you were a former gang leader, right?
Exactly.
How many guys did you say you had under you?
About 200. Stood at attention.
How many looked at you as an older brother, as a father figure?
Exactly. You ain't lying. But they came to me for advice.
Coaches out there? How many coaches? How many uncles? How many fathers? And remember, a lot of these guys who are father figures, who are fathers, remember, he didn't leave out because guess what? A lot of us in the black community hate our fathers. Not me, but a lot of us in the black community hate our fathers only because we hear one side of the fucking story.
Exactly, and that's how I feel. That's how my shit played out. Because I remember certain things when I was a youngster. Like me and my pops and my moms, they had their beefs. I didn't know what it was because I was a youngster at the time. Like I said, I lost my mother when I was 13. And then I went to stay with my father, but I was already in the streets. So there wasn't too much he could say to me. Like, I'm in the streets, man. And he couldn't deal with it because he was in the street dude. But then I linked back up with him when I was about 30. And the conversation we had was so deep. Like, my mom's did a lot of foul shit.
Mm-hmm.
My mom's did a lot of foul shit, and that's what made them separate. Where it couldn't work out. Even though he did his shit, because, we dudes. We gonna do our shit. I don't give a fuck what any dude say. You gonna do your shit. If you with a chick, I don't care. Man, listen, man. I've been around for a little minute, man. I don't got no fake stories to tell nobody. Exactly. Talk is gonna be real talk. Because I was a dude that actually lived that shit.
And hey, Jalen, you want to get in the conversation?
Yeah, man. Yeah. Respect. Thank you for having me on, man. I'm not really here to debate. I just want to have a discussion, man. Because I see that as
peace, good professor. I'm just looking at my phone to see who's on there. Peace, good professor. Dave. Who that? John. I seen the lion face before, but I don't know who that is. But go, professor. Salute, brother.
Yeah, man. I just want
to go ahead, Jalen.
I just want to share a quick story.
Go ahead.
When I was in high school, it was a mixed high school. It was one of the only.
Really, how old are you, by the way? Excuse me, friend.
25.
25. All right. Continue.
So I was
in. Professor, you're a young dude.
Yeah, man.
Young dude.
I was in one of the high schools that was the most mixed. Like it was literally 50% black, 50% white, almost to that degree. And I'll never forget this day. We're in class, and there's this guy, this other guy. His name was like Brandon or something like that. He was a real quiet dude, but he had like these tattoos. And one day in class, he literally walked across because it was like an open door to another class and punched another black kid in the face. And I don't know why, and just started beating him up, right? And so, like, because he had told everybody he was gonna do it. Now, mind you, I'm sitting next to this white dude, and like all the other black kids are like, oh snap, he got him, dang. And I said, just kind of out loud, I said, dang, Brandon is real. And the white dude looked at me, he said, yo, he's real stupid. And I looked at myself, I was like, dang, he's right. Because that's stupid to fight someone inside of school and get suspended and cause all these other issues, and that leads you down this path. But my point is that the way that the white guy was raised in his perspective and his culture, or how he's taught to think about things, is far different than how we're taught to think about things. We're talking with emotions. Now,
absolutely.
Now.
Last
point. I want to make before I end. I agree with your point by you saying that white people do it too, because I will admit there were plenty of white boys in high school that fought, but guess what? 95% fought outside of school and never got suspended for it. So there's different. So yes, they do fight. They do all these other things, but the way they do it is far less emotional. So I get it, but at the end of the day, the way we think about things and the way we go about things and just use our emotions is a lot of times leading us into these positions, and we just gotta stop being victims. I don't believe in that.
Nah, but go, Professor, by you saying that, you gotta look at how black shows is. You look at a black show on TV compared to a white show, like they could both have some ratchet shit. Cause I be watching. I'm a dude that's married for 26 years. I done did my dirt within that 26 years. My wife knows. It is what it is. But I've been married for 26 years. I've been married for 26 years. I just give my wife into my ass. She hear what I'm saying. She know what it is. But
I had said
I'm stronger.
But this is what I'm going to say to this, because I was going to make a response to what you said.
No, go ahead, Charles.
Because this is where the white trick box starts.
Exactly.
They try to separate the cultures like we come from two different fucking countries. It's all American culture. American culture is violent. As a matter of fact, you can't have a culture, period, throughout history without some type of violence, correct?
Correct.
Absolutely.
So whether they fight in school or not fight in school, fighting is something that's masculine, period.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't agree with that.
It's biological. Because we have for the longest time throughout history called a cratocracy.
I wouldn't agree that fighting is just masculine. I wouldn't say that.
It is masculine. Because let me ask you this question. When a woman starts fighting another woman, do they look ladylike or do they look masculine?
They look masculine.
So fighting is what? A masculine trait, right?
Okay, but that you're putting a blanket statement that
it's not a blanket
statement. Is masculine.
In other words, what do males have an abundance of hormone?
That's what men do.
That's what men do, bro. What does the testosterone hormone cause you to do? It does what?
Be aggressive.
So
you might have a couple of people.
What I'm saying is,
you might have a couple. You might have a couple of no. Hold on, go. I'm saying you might have a couple of people that you deal with in life that you wouldn't scuffle with. Because I'm a dude. Just by what I was saying from the time I've been on this panel, I've had like if I was a boxer, I would have like a good record. Like I've fought over 300 times. And that's just me picking a number right now, because I fought a lot of people in life, fought fist fights, not just we fighting and arguing. This is different. This is what's happening with this era, because y'all don't go outside no more. And I seen this. I seen the transition to where dudes wasn't going outside no more. They wasn't dealing with manly shit. And a lot of these dudes ain't deal with no manly shit. They deal with manly shit on the internet. You can't deal with no manly shit on the internet.
And I'm gonna tell you, at 25, man, you're a millennial, right?
Yeah.
What's the first thing the education system try to do to your masculinity?
I try to emasculate me. I literally remember a time in class where there was a teacher, and she said, "Raise your hand if you're a feminist." And I was one of the only kids that didn't raise their hand. And she was like, "Why didn't you raise your hand?" And I was like, "Because I'm not a feminist. I don't know what that is." And then she repeated it and shamed me into having to raise my hand. This is like
Yeah, this is what's going on. This
You
is
gotta
what's going on right now. Like, I respect the internet. It's a way for a lot of brothers to make a lot of money. It shows brothers knowledge of self. You can learn knowledge of self from the internet because we didn't have this when I was coming up. When I was coming up, we didn't have this. You had to learn knowledge of self from being outside. Like I said, I remember when not being outside was a thing, when it started being a thing,
shout out to
like
my boy,
mid 2000s.
fellow Austin,
Mid
Mike. See, let me point this out. When you grow
Yeah,
up
go
as
ahead.
a feminist, a gynocentric, you already growing up as a black male in a gynocentric culture, right? Then,
Yeah.
Losing.
because remember, men build a society, women reinforce the societal norms, correct?
I wouldn't say they reinforce. I wouldn't say that the main
They
reinforcers.
do. Because
No,
either
they
way,
do reinforce it.
they
I,
do.
They do
I would say that
reinforce it.
the men are the main reinforcers, but we've lost our
No,
way.
no, no.
No,
We're the
women
establishers.
reinforce it. Women
We're the
How so?
reinforce
I
establishers.
see that going on
it.
now. I see that going
How
on
so?
now because in my era, that wasn't happening. But I see that going on now. Crossover to 2000. Once Obama came into office, is when females started getting a lot of speaking points. Because before that, it wasn't that much. It wasn't that much of a gynocentric world. Like we were still trying to hold on. Brothers were still trying to hold on, but then they changed the rules. They
Now you got
changed the rules around that time.
now you got to remember this point. When historically, this is what men, even to this day, men create the society. We establish the laws. Women reinforce the laws. They're your first teachers. Meaning,
Mhm.
your mother, if you grew up in a two-parent household, before my parents were divorced, I grew up in a two-parent household. It was my mother who said, your dad is driving a fucking cab for 60 hours a week, getting brand new cars, brand new furniture. And this is in the 80s, early 80s, but we had TVs in every room. We
Yeah,
had
yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember that.
we had a Bronco and we had a Thunderbird. That's how fucking old we are. And it's like, and we had fresh carpet because he got tired of us getting splinters from the hardwood. So my mother, for example, says, do not get on your father's nerves because if he beats your ass, I'm gonna beat your ass first because his ass whooping is gonna be a lot worse than mine. Now, what you
Absolutely.
have the women who are coming up with this quote unquote whore culture, guess what women are teaching their children now? Because women are going to be with those children during their formative years first,
Wait,
especially
hold on. So now,
especially
I'm sorry. Keep going.
especially especially during those formative years when the child is learning how to speak, what is culturally normal for their area or country or for their society. So when you see women encouraging 3-year-olds to dance with chicks twerking, who's teaching the culture? Is it the men or the women?
Okay, I'll agree with you with that. That they do reinforce. I'll agree with that.
It's not. So you got to remember, over here in this space, like George Duke said, there's no rhyme and reason. There's no right or wrong. It's just that I'm gonna teach you, Jalen. Trust me. You subscribe to my channel, right?
Yeah.
One thing
Um,
you'll learn about me: there's no right or wrong. You deal with what is. Once you get out the context of right and wrong, and you learn nature, you deal with what is. You deal with what is. See, men, as a logical man, when you said you did not raise your hand on being a feminist, you were not. You were looked at as different, correct?
Yes.
because you can logically think for yourself, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
So you went through what I went through when I was a little boy, when I was a wee Faulkner before this fucking Kryptonian hulking motherfucker now. My father said to me around 4 or 5 years old, he said, Charles, oh Charles, you know what your biggest burden gonna be, boy? Your biggest burden is gonna be your intellect. Because one, most people you speak to are not gonna comprehend what you're speaking. And number two, they're going to be afraid that they're going to be afraid and ashamed that you think that you're better than them, and all you're just being is yourself. Does that coincide with what you felt like when that teacher actually was a feminist?
Yeah, definitely.
So trust me, I'm not even the point. I love it when people talk. I let people talk. Hell, sometimes Kane, when he comes on the panel, talks longer than me. As long as he's making the point and he's enjoying himself, I don't give a fuck. It's supposed to be interactive. Guess
Now,
what?
Charles, I got a question for you.
I might have an answer. Go ahead.
So now, you spoke about the culture. That's the same thing I was speaking about on BTS channel. I was speaking about the culture, how it is very negative, and you said the same thing I was saying. So I'm trying to ask you, why were you coming at me so hard if you believe in the same thing that I was saying as
In
far as the
other
culture?
words, this is what you were saying. You said terrorists, right?
Terrorist, all right, I might have used terrorist.
In other words, I'm gonna answer your question. You asked me the question.
Hold on, I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for both brothers. Both brothers on the panel. I didn't hear it. I didn't hear it.
Hold on.
Wait. I'm gonna answer this question real quick.
Hold on.
We don't do that. When you asked me a question, I got to answer, correct?
I just want to say this. Before you say that, I said domestic black terrorists.
I don't give a like none of that. We're gonna stop right there.
There's no such thing as that.
What
There's
is a
no such
domestic
thing as
black
that, brother.
terrorist? What is that?
No.
There is no such thing as that,
We're gonna
brother.
stop right there. We're gonna stop.
Yeah. We gotta stop them right there because there's no such thing.
This is what I got.
There's no
This is
such
what I
thing.
got hot with you, because guess what? When that motherfucker came into that black church, Dylan Ruth, did a motherfucker call him a terrorist? Yes or no?
Hold on. I said domestic black terrorists of the black community.
No offense to you, but get the fuck out of here with that. Did
What
anybody
is
call
a
that
domestic
motherfucker a terrorist?
terrorist? What
Did
is a
anybody,
domestic
brother,
black
did
terrorist?
anybody call that
Whoever's
white
saying that,
motherfucker a terrorist?
whoever's saying that right now, I don't even know what that means.
Hold on, excuse me. Give me the panel for a minute. Did
Go
this
ahead, go ahead, go
motherfucker
ahead.
have an ideological difference against black people? Was he seen going to fucking white rallies, fucking Ku Klux Klan and racist rallies, and being filmed with swastikas and Confederate flags and shit? So did he, number one, have an ideological debate and difference with black people?
No. I would admit, no.
Yes, he did. If you're going and you're joining a group that says, I hate black people because my ideological fucking view is because they're lower and they're fucking inferior to me due to their black skin alone, that's an ideological difference.
Hold on. Can I give you my definition of domestic black
That
terrorists?
goes back to higher learning. That goes back to
definition. That fucking terrorist is. We're not doing that woman shit here.
No, I mean,
but Charles, that go back to that movie Higher Learning.
Exactly. Like you come up here, you came up here and you want to talk about black domestic terrorists. Do you know fucking what did Hillary Clinton call young black children?
I'm speaking primarily on the black.
No. What did Hillary Clinton call young black children and teenagers? Do you know?
What did she call them?
She called them super predators.
Exactly.
She called
Exactly. And
black
at that
men.
time,
She
I was a
called black
dude.
men and
I was a
boys
dude.
super predators.
I was a dude that lived in New York at that time. When they did that, I was in New York at that time, and I remember when they did that. They called us super predators. Like, and what did we find out years later? That's not even what the situation was. Them dudes got
Her
paid.
goddamn husband, who everybody claims is the first motherfucking black president, put more black people in jail in one fucking year than we had in all of slavery.
Come on now, y'all gotta stop that. Y'all can't do that. Like,
But
yeah,
yet,
there's gonna be brothers that do fucked up shit.
when I correct you on your ideological fucking fallacies, which they are, you can't say that shit. Because if you're not going to call Dylan Ruth, what's the motherfucker who killed what's the dude who killed Trayvon Martin?
You talking about what's his name? Damn, what's his dude's name? I was just flipping my tongue. See, black folk. I'm putting myself in that. I'm putting myself in that same boat. I'm putting myself in that same boat. We can't even name the motherfucker. George
who
Zimmerman.
shot up Vegas that time a fucking terrorist. Then there's no fucking way you can call black youth terrorists.
Yeah, I'm gonna put myself in that same
if you
boat.
call somebody a criminal if they committed criminal activity, but that's the reason why little white ladies feel it's okay to clench their fucking purses. But the first time I had a white lady come across me, and I'm in my plain clothes as an officer in Towson fucking town center, the fucking mall, and she's clenching her fucking purse, and I whipped out my fucking badge and said, you know what? Do me a favor. Keep your purse clenched. Don't call me when one of them white boys at the fucking corner snatch. Because you damn sure know if a black man shopping in Towson, he can fucking afford it. But yeah,
you're not breaking down the context of what I'm saying.
How can I take it out of context when you call black youth terrorists? When did they do something terrorist?
I said that they're black domestic terrorists.
It doesn't matter.
Hold on.
I don't care how you want to name it, bro. Nah, bro, I can't agree with you, bro. I don't care how you want to name it, how you want to word it. I don't care how you want to word it. We do not do what they do. That's just what it is.
If you want to call them thugs, if you want to call them gangsters, what I'm saying is that they're black domestic terrorists of the black community.
You don't have
All right, okay, boom. No, hold on. Wait a second. Hold on. I would have questioned it. So do the brothers that you see as a drug dealer, I know it has to be in the air. You feel like dudes is getting money or whatever they do. So do they put pressure on you? Because the terrorists put pressure on you, like, yo, there's some type of pressure. Do those dudes put pressure on you? Did you get robbed by one of these dudes or something? Did you be saying something like this?
All right, so now I'm about to respond. So now they're not putting pressure.
I want you to respond. I want to hear you respond. Like, did they do something to you?
No, hold on. Let me speak. So now I said I didn't want to respond because I wanted to let you speak. So now, So now this is my response. So now, I have no problem with them brothers, but if they're doing anything that's against the black community, meaning that they're selling drugs, they're shooting and killing the gang members, yes, they're black domestic.
Let me ask you something, right?
No, Charles, don't jump on him yet. Let him continue what he said. Don't jump on him. Don't beat him up yet, Charles. Don't beat him up yet.
You can beat me up. I'm good.
Hold on.
Yeah, let's see where this is going.
How the fuck do you call somebody a terrorist? Do we have connections to fucking Colombia?
What do you say?
Do we have connections to fucking Colombia? So when Oliver North wasn't trying to tell the truth when he was a fucking colonel on why is drugs coming into the fucking community, when he was in front of Congress, was he not a terrorist? Because he knew a lot
And
of
like
shit
I
going on.
and like I was
So
saying,
let me ask you something.
on this panel, like
When
no, hold on,
Nixon,
brother. Like I was
oh,
saying on this panel, I was a dude from the streets, and I was doing all that street shit. All my connections was white boys.
exactly. Matter of fact, let
My
me get this tag.
connection was
Let me get this
my
tag real quick,
connections.
Kane. I gotta say this real quick, Kane. Number one, when COINTELPRO was started,
Okay.
you know what COINTELPRO is, right?
Listen, I exactly know what you're talking about.
It's yes or no.
Yes.
So in other words, when the Black Panther Party, and what's the highest level of education for Huey P. Newton?
I would say he had a bachelor's.
He was
No,
a
he got a
oh
PhD.
my God. He was a PhD in
David.
education. So but if
What
you
I'm
listen to
saying,
white
man.
people, these were a bunch of fucking thugs when the Black Panther Party mainly consisted of military veterans who served honorably and PH fucking Ds. There was not a devil
Exactly,
among
yeah.
them. They even created the WIC
Where
program, which people in this
where
country
y'all
still
think
use today, but the government
where y'all
infiltrated
think
that.
most of this game where y'all think most of this game came from? This game came from because we was listening to dudes like that. Dudes
But
like
you telling me
Malcolm.
right now,
Malcolm came from the hood.
but
Everybody want to praise him. He came from the hood.
you telling me right now, right? To call a black child a black domestic terrorist, did they bring drugs to the motherfucker? But yet, majority of your drugs come off the backs of immigrants. Oh, they don't want me to say that.
Nah, I get what you
Majority of
coming
your
from.
drugs
Charles, like I
come
said, we
way
back
off
and
the
forth
fucking
right now.
boats. How do I know? Baltimore is a motherfucking port city.
That's what I'm saying. But Charles, come on, stop you giving them game. They don't like game in this
But
sector.
yet,
They don't
but
like
yet,
hearing the word game.
but yet, the little motherfucker Dylan Roof and the motherfucker who shot up a goddamn movie theater, call himself the Joker, he gets to say, the people get to say, oh, he's mentally disturbed. But you using white talking points, especially them black feminist talking points,
Okay. Don't say that.
especially that Michelle Wallace shit from the
Nah,
Black fucking
so
Macho
you gonna attack that?
when
Wait
she
a
was
second, you gonna
casting
attack that?
with Gloria
You gonna
Steinem.
attack that, bro? Whoever
When
want
she,
to reply to that, you want to attack that like you don't use because you said black women talking points. And once again, you trying to you want man. Listen, I'm from the hood.
when number one,
I'm
I've
a
been
real
talking
hood
4
nigga. I'm
years.
not one of these niggas. I'm not one of these fronting ass dudes. I'm really from the hood. I lived most of my life in the hood, and I did hood shit.
If you ever notice
You
something about
can't.
my channel,
Come on.
and I'm gonna tell you something about my channel. The average age for my channel is 35 and down. Do I have a couple of brothers who are in their 40s and 50s and sisters too?
Yeah, I'm a
Yeah,
little older. I'm on the older side. I've
yeah.
been
I'm
around.
I'm
That's why I
Just
can
like
say what I'm saying right now. That's why I'm jumping on the stand with you, Charles. 'Cause I played cops and robbers with you
oh
my
yeah,
whole life.
and you got to
Damn near
realize,
majority of my life.
guys, guys like Jalen are my main audience because the guys like Jalen, probably depending on the cities they're from and the culture they were taught under, not to speak to the goddamn police.
That's a fact.
And then when you call
That's
a
a
black
fact. That's what I'm
child
saying. That's
a
what I'm saying.
black
That's why
domestic
I'm making it.
terrorist to a lot of black
That's why I'm
soldiers,
making a
you
comment.
make that shit a fucking reality to them, a self-fulfilling
That's why I'm
prophecy.
making the comment.
If I would have
That's why
told
I'm
that
making the
to
comments I'm making.
5-year-old fucking Jalen, do you think Jalen would feel as though that he wasn't going to be shit?
That's why I'm making the comments I'm making, because in my real life, I wouldn't be on no panel with no police. I'm a hood dude,
Exactly.
but I was a hood dude that was intellectual with my shit.
And
That's
here's
just
the
the way.
hurtful
That's
part,
who I
right?
was.
And here's the hurtful part, Havalas, is that how easily shit like that can roll off our tongues.
Yeah.
Hey, what happened to
Yeah.
Soldier? He
I don't know. He popped on. I added him in.
Yeah, I would never say that word, but see, here's my question that goes back to my the victim mentality. My only thing is that okay, you say that the drugs got into our community by other people that is not us, but and no disrespect to anyone who chose that lifestyle, but were you forced into that, or was that something that you chose to do?
It was 50-50. I'm not gonna say 50-50. It was more because it's easy to get hooked on drugs, especially with the drugs we talk about. We talk about hard drugs. We ain't talking about the people that say weed is drugs. Right now, we living in an era where they're saying weed is medicine. I'm talking about people that was on hard drugs. People that was on hard drugs, yeah, it was easy for them to intervene. That's why they threw it out there. They saw what it was doing the people. You gotta remember, slavery goes back a long way. So that means that they have a long. I'm not gonna say like a hidden agenda, but they studied us. It's like a scientist studying something. They studied us, and they see what's gonna work and what's not gonna work, and that's what they play on.
Let me say this real quick. See, a lot of people. You went to college, right, Jalen?
Yes,
What's your degree in?
communications.
Communications, bachelor's.
Yes, NT.
I can tell. I can tell by your disciplined speech, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I
Yeah, he
understand.
checking for game.
Formula. It's
Checking
formulated.
for some knowledge. Yeah, he
It's
checking for some knowledge.
oh, trust me, I have no breath because guess what? I can learn from Jalen. I don't have an ego.
Exactly.
I don't have an
Exactly.
ego. This is a learning center right here. See, this is what we got to understand in the 80s because I was born in 82, so I remember a good part of the 80s. During
Not to say
from
nothing.
it's
Not
not
to put no semi shame on you. Not to put no semi shame on you, Charles. But you're a baby.
I love it. I love it because 38 ain't 21 anymore either.
I was
That's a
born in
fact.
'69. I was born
40,
in '69.
40,
So
40,
Oh,
40s was the best.
come on, bro. So you supposed to know the game.
Yeah, you know the game. So you got to remember this, right? And even when you were young, especially for guys who were teenagers and 20-year-olds during the 80s, correct me if I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to go from I'm going to start a little bit of a history lesson, right? From 1890 to 1980, black people were married from 85 to 90%. We were
You're
actually
absolutely
more
right.
married than white people.
Exactly.
So these statistics about single motherhood, that wasn't us.
That was nuts. We got that
That
from
wasn't
them.
us.
Everything we do, majority of the shit that we do is shit that they did. But it's
First,
for them it's shameful. For them it's shameful. That's why they won't stand on it. They
and
push it
remember,
back on us.
this. When abortion was illegal, guess who got majority of the abortions?
Come
White
on
women,
now.
illegally.
Come on now.
So
Come on now.
when
Charles,
they
don't do that to them.
remember, slavery was menacing, even though me and BGS, the first horrific thing they ever did to us was enslave us. The second most horrific thing they did to us was drop fucking crack. Not even cocaine, crack. Like who
Yeah,
the fuck?
base.
Who the fuck?
Base and all that shit. I remember when it was base.
Who the fuck
Like it
bases
was even
cocaine?
crack yet. Yeah, it was called base.
Yeah,
That's what I go back. Come on, you know I'm a throwback dude.
yeah. And
They call it base.
you telling me crack itself broke up the black family and the black infrastructure and the black society like nothing else in this country has it not. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you 100
That's
percent
not
right.
what it was meant for. That's
Huh?
not what it was meant for. Is to keep us on the lower level.
And tell me, that shit
They
broke
saw
up a
there's
lot.
something new.
But fellas, tell me that shit broke up the black family like nothing else.
Of course, of course.
Yeah.
Oh,
And this time in 2020, and in 2020, they're using our chicks against us. Because a lot of us are heterosexual males. A lot of us is heterosexual males, so they know what it is. You gotta remember, it's science. They deal with science. As much as they want to talk against science, they still deal with science. They know what it is.
as a matter of
They
fact,
see what it is. If they take our women from us, we lose. You can't win no war without your women on your side. And they understand this. They know this.
I'll tell
This is
you
why
this.
they gave our women. This is why they gave our women a little bit more power than we have.
Yep.
And a lot of
Exactly.
fellas, in a lot
Mean a
of
lot.
faith, in a lot of dudes, it's a lot. It is a lot for a lot of dudes.
Yeah, because you got to remember. I remember my grandfather, who's still alive today, when he worked down in Harbor Ford. Okay, I am a fourth
Mm-hmm.
generation war vet. My father went to Vietnam.
Mm.
My grandfather went to Korea, and my great grandfather went to World War II. So going down to Inner Harbor Ford, which was in the south part, the southern district of Baltimore, because Baltimore is separated by districts. Like where we don't have
Yeah.
precincts, we have districts. I work
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
northern
yeah, yeah.
district, so
Once
that's
you
the
get to
north part of
Baltimore, 'cause
Baltimore.
like I said, I'm a New York dude, so I know. Once you start getting to Baltimore, that's when they start breaking up into
It's a
different
separate,
little sections.
but it's
Yeah,
geographically separated.
yeah,
So
yeah.
when he went to Inner Harbor Ford, we used to visit him all the time. My mom's
Mhm,
father, he was a mechanic. He didn't go above the eighth grade, but he was a master mechanic.
yeah. He
Remember,
knew his shit.
remember for all the older guys, how jobs were becoming scarce, where men worked in factories like the steel mill factory, the mass,
Mhm,
the mass auto plants went overseas.
mhm, mhm.
And see, men have this thing about them where there's a will, there's a way. If you have a baby in your left hand and you have crack in your right hand, and that baby's starving and you can't get a job because the man will not allow you to get a job, what the fuck are you gonna do?
You're gonna make it happen.
You're gonna
You're
sell
gonna
the
start
shit out
figuring
of
out a way
that
to make it
rock.
happen.
And people say
Exactly.
that
This is
I'm
what I'm
not
trying.
condoning drug
Mhm.
dealing, but that's the predicament a lot of black men were left in.
This is why
See,
I mess with Charles. This is why I mess with Charles for all the people that was listening. Like I shouldn't be on this panel. In my real life, the way I flex, my real life of moving, me and Charles would not be on the pack. I played cops and robbers with Charles my whole life. Cause this is the
but
life
tell,
I grew up in.
but tell me that's
I
not
grew
what
up in that
happened
type
in
of
the
life.
But Kane, tell
Of
me
course.
that's not what the fuck happened in the 80s. You took
Of
away
course.
the economic stimulus
Of
of
course.
black men, which was our fucking jobs and our fucking careers, where we sent motherfuckers worked at the steel mill, sent their wives to college, sent their children to college, bought homes, bought vehicles, lived a damn good life. But you took it all away with the switch of a fucking pen.
And the reason brothers do that, and the reason brothers did that is because they saw that the women was gonna get a better opportunity than them. They wasn't
Yeah,
giving us those opportunities. They
they
wasn't
were.
giving us those opportunities. So we saw that this is why it's like a double edged sword. Cause it's like we fought for our chicks, but what happened by the way they flipped it to where they gave they women the rights and sold our women bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm gonna tell you one thing that a lot of people do not talk about in the manosphere. Y'all ready for this game? There's a lot of black women out
on
there.
the Charles. Hold on, wait a second, Charles. Wait a second, Charles, because you dropping some real shit right now. Hold on, y'all got to donate.
Somebody got to donate.
I want to see a cash app. I want to see a cash app pop up because Charles is taking it to the next level right now. And like I said, I'm a hood nigga. I am a street nigga where I should not be on this panel right now. Because the way my life worked, the way my whole life went down, me and Charles is cops and robbers.
I'm gonna
and
tell
they
you,
would consider me a robber.
we're gonna need some likes and some donations.
Something. I want to see a donation.
I'm gonna tell
before he say what he got to say, I want to see a donation. Somebody, please donate. Stop the bullshit.
Support your interest, man. And Jalen, and what college did you attend, by the way?
North Carolina A&T.
North Carolina A&T. What type of dudes were majority of the fucking students of the female student population were going for?
What type of dudes were they going for?
Mm-hmm.
Either guys that were off campus, like the dudes that lived in the neighborhoods around campus, or either
it was going for niggas like me.
Player type.
They was going for niggas like me, cause I went to your schools. I know your school. I stayed in North Carolina. I was in Winston-Salem for like a year and a half. I was in like Winston-Salem for a year and a half, and we used to go to these different colleges. And the chicks wanted to mess with the hood dudes.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna feed you some game that you probably already know. Not a lot of motherfuckers in the manosphere will tell you this. We're gonna need some donations too, and some likes.
Yeah, we need something. I want to see a donation. Oh, there we go. Hold on, salute. Facts. There we go. There we go. Come spend some real shit. I'm a hood nigga. I'm not supposed to be on this panel. Trust and believe when I'm saying to y'all, I'm saying some real shit to y'all right now. I am cut from a hood nigga cloth. I am a street nigga. Like I'm telling y'all, me and Charles were enemies for years. Like he tried to catch me, and it was cops and robbers. This is why I never try to jump on none of Charles' panels. I'm telling y'all, real and true. I'm telling y'all, cause I'm a real classical hood dude. I'm not one of these fake niggas that talk about, I lived that life. You tell somebody else's story. No, I was that dude that was definitely out there.
I have a lot of uncles who've been through that. I have a lot of uncles who've been through that lifestyle. And
I was one of them dudes. I'm not scared. That's my face. For all y'all that's, sorry for cutting Charles off. For all y'all that's looking at my face, seeing my picture up there, that's really my picture. Like, cause I'm not about that life no, but they can't come get me no more. I don't do that shit no more.
It's funny because my man Mike, he's a cop as well. He's agreeing with everything you said. Think about this, and correct me if I'm wrong, because you're probably the youngest guy on the panel, unless we got somebody younger.
Charles,
I'm 42. I'm gonna spit my age. I ain't no scared to spit my age. I'm 42, so I don't know. I don't know about any other brother on the panel. I'm 42 though.
Like, I see a Charles Faulkner, but I don't see a Charles Faulkner Jr.
Oh, right there. See the Charles Faulkner Jr.?
What I'm saying is I can't seem to find a Charles Faulkner Jr. I see Charles Faulkner.
I'm in these spaces. I'm in these spaces shouting a lot of people out. I'm in these spaces. I've been a lot of different panels. I've been in these spaces. Sometimes I might jump on the panel, but I'm a street dude. For everybody that knows of who I am in these panels, I'm a street dude. I grew up that street life from a young dude. When you hear me talk, I'm talking real shit. I was looking to drop a channel. I'm still working on it, but I know a lot of people ain't prepared for the type of street shit I'm gonna bring. Because I'm a street dude that lived that. I did it. I did the street life. I'm not about the street life now in my life. I'm
And
an
I'm gonna say
older dude.
this because I want Jalen to confirm this. How many
Go
chicks
ahead.
who get their degrees actually owe street niggas and drug dealers for their degrees, for either paying for it, for their books, and a lot of shit.
You mean like paying for what?
Tuition and books.
Now that's something that I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily say
I'm gonna tell you what. Next
because
time you go
most of
around
these girls
somebody you went to
getting paid,
college
the
with,
parents paying.
next time you go to college, you hang around somebody you went to college with, especially a female, get them nice and comfortable. Go off for drinks, and they feel easy and comfortable. Remember this shit. When she's comfortable and she feels as though you're not judging her, a woman will always be honest about her intentions. She will tell you, yeah, I used to date
Exactly.
this type of dude. Why do you think
I've
when you
been down
said
that
that,
road. I've
why do
been
they
down
like
that road. That
why
is
do they
super
like
facts. That's
NBA young boys? Because number one,
super facts, Charles.
a lot of them chicks came from where, Jalen?
They came from good environments.
So it's
That's
one
super
thing.
facts.
It's one thing if she came from like $1 million home family, but even them chicks love the hood niggas. Why? Because they live vicariously through them. And by the way, I like to
That's
shout out
big
to
facts.
Platinum Elite for the cigars that came in the mail. I love these Cohibas. Whoa, Stalin.
Platinum, salute, yo, Platinum, cause me and Platinum, like I said, I'm on the panel with a police officer, and I keep saying this, cause yo, I usually don't flex like this, cause this is not the life I grew up. I grew up from that different type of life, where we ain't mess with police officers. I see, like I said, I have police officers in my family, and I respect what
And here's a
man.
question I want to ask you, Kane. I want to ask you, was it
That
more about survival or trying to impress people back in the day?
Nah, it was survival. It
Like,
was
please
survival. It
explain.
was survival. It was survival, but in the same token, the way black people flex, they were still trying to show off. Because whoever had the power, it's all about power. At the end of the game, at the end of the day, it's all about power. No matter what you're trying to do, it's all about power. But that meant something to me too. Like, yo, hold on, yeah, I got a certain status. You having a certain status in hood is what makes you on top. When nobody ain't gonna mess with you.
And
That's
shout out
what
to
most
Jalen for
brothers.
the $10 cash app. Woo!
Salute, Jalen.
And you got to remember, even when the music changed, because one thing if you follow one thing about black people, you don't just follow the money, you follow the music.
Oh yeah, they move with the music. Cause I'm God's body. I know a lot of y'all see my name and y'all like, yo, what the fuck is he talking about? Cause at the end of my name, y'all see God Allah. Like, yeah, I got knowledge of self. And when I got knowledge of self, that made me start moving differently. But there's one thing that we say being God body is like being swift and changeable, but always remainable. And when I say that, I mean that you know how to switch it up. That's what we have to do as black people in this country. You have to learn how to be swift and changeable. But
And Gold
you have
Professor,
to
hold on.
stand on your
Gold
morals.
Professor, you wanted to come in?
Yeah,
Well, Professor.
I'm here. I think I'm on the
Oh, you breaking up, man. You Morgan.
I said, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you crystal now.
Okay, so I think I'm the oldest one on the panel.
Like, how old are you?
I'm 51.
51. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you've been on the game. You know what it is.
And
You know what it is.
I've seen and been part of things. You know, I've been military. So listen.
You bored out a good part of what you were saying. Last thing we heard was military.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I can hear you.
Okay, so I was saying that I've experienced not only being overseas and from what I've learned, because this conversation originally was about being a victim. I think.
Yeah, victim
And
of whom?
I
I ain't hear you. Say it again. Victim of what? Victim of what?
No, I was saying because Jalen has said in the chat that grown men shouldn't be victims, right?
Right. I said that. Yeah.
Am I right? Okay.
Yeah. Yes, I said that.
Okay. Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay.
I feel you. Go ahead.
This is, uh,
I can hear him.
They do.
Yo,
They want you to know that they're
Charles.
Right?
Charles, you can hear him? I don't know. I'm lost. I can't hear him.
He's Borging because
I can't hear him.
you gotta go to a good spot because wherever you were a couple of minutes ago, you were sounding fantastic.
I can't hear him.
How about now? How about now?
You sound great now.
Yeah, you sound good right now. You sound good right now, but I couldn't hear you.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Stand still.
I'm staying in one spot. I'm trying. I was saying this. Jewish people have made a life from upholding them being victims. Now, you say something about them, or you talk about it was only for 12 years that they were victimized. Say something about that, right?
Right.
And see what
You
happens.
somehow lost
And
me a
see
little
what
further.
happens.
You somehow lost me when you said being victimized for 12 years. Like I heard a lot that you were saying before that.
I'm speaking Jewish. I'm speaking Jewish people. I'm speaking Jewish people, right?
He was saying stuff. You were breaking up for a second, but you're back to normal again.
Oh, okay. I was saying that, if you say something against the Holocaust, right, and their so-called Holocaust, right? Oh, they coming strong, right?
Right.
They make sure you know that they were victims of it, and they want you to what? Pay for it. They want you to acknowledge their position, right?
Right.
And I'm saying, we should, for us to accomplish, we got to let them know. We got to remind them, look, we've been victimized for hundreds of years. See, not just 12 years, but hundreds of years up to now. So when we say, and when you say we shouldn't have a victim mentality, no, we got to let people know, yeah, we victims of this. You gotta take care of this. See, you bear a heavy amount of responsibility for what you cause and continue to do.
What I'm saying is
we got to run the same. We got to run the same thing to accomplish, because apparently that playbook works.
It works for them. It'll never work for us, because too many people benefit off of our position. So we've been doing that. We've been victimized for 60 years, starting with the civil rights movement. It's never going to work because too many factions other than ourselves benefit off of us in the system. No one really benefits off of Jews being in a lowly state. They're not. They can't play basketball or football. Like,
well,
you know what I'm saying?
You gotta realize this, right?
You're missing what I'm saying, though.
Actually, hold
What
up.
I'm saying is,
Hold up. See, you got to realize civil rights actually worked off of making America think. Because if we didn't get civil rights, the alternative was not as good. If we did our own businesses, hell yeah. But you do what you do to
Exactly.
survive for the next generation to do even more. It's like a time when I had a
Exactly.
Jewish guy try to debate me on and try to play the whole. Well, we were subjected against Hitler. I said, "Oh, is that right, motherfucker?" I said, "Black people saved you from your Holocaust. You think they were putting white lives at cost when we've been to Auschwitz? It was black men who freed you from your fucking Holocaust.
right,
Your
Yeah.
right.
But
ancestors, my
they probably
ancestors."
was. They probably did give some of them the short end of the stick, because that's how they had to. That's how they had to play it.
Well, you got
They
to
can't just
remember,
throw us
to
in the
this
bus.
day, every year they celebrate these group of black men called the Liberators.
Mm-hmm.
This is the
Mm-hmm.
funniest thing why I tell black men why they need to travel outside. Outside of America, you're looked at as a goddamn superhero. Nobody bucked the system more than the black American. I swear to God.
Right, right.
But no, I could see.
Nobody has.
I could see the truth. I could see the truth of what Charles is saying, because he's absolutely right. Even though when you read the Caribbean people, because my family is Caribbean, they came from the Caribbean, and they got sold a woke ticket. But the pamphlet they gave them, they told them that America was going to be a better thing. And when they came to America, they saw what they had to deal with. This
And
is
guess
why a
what?
lot of, go ahead.
Nobody bucks the system more than the black American. As a matter of fact, we're the only group of black people that never ran from our country. Think about that.
Yeah.
So when you travel abroad, people look at you like a goddamn superhero. How the fuck are you slaves?
How can you move like
How
that?
the fuck?
How
How
can
the
you move
fuck
like
were
that?
you?
Because in my country, I can't do that.
How the
In my
fuck were
country, I
you?
can't do
How the
that.
fuck you come from being slaves to 64% of your men in the middle class? How the fuck is it that you're the best fathers on earth? Think about that.
But brothers still don't monopolize on it. Brothers still don't monopolize on it when they try to take and try to attack it the way it is. Because what I'm trying to tell you, when it comes
Especially
to
for
other
Jalen.
countries, as much as I want to say, yo, yeah, these other countries get it popping, but no, y'all let what go down in your country play y'all. That's how the way they play it out. If we take the women, if we take the dudes women away from them, that's an easy win. Because we need the women. As much as I hear in these spaces, brothers trying to fight against the sister, you need the women.
And I'm gonna
If you
say this
don't
for
got the
Hey,
brother
can
women
y'all
Jalen.
on
hear
your side, you
Yeah,
losing.
yeah, yeah.
You
And I'm
losing.
and I'm gonna say
And
this
that
real
shit,
quick for brother Jalen before Jalen speaks. Especially since you got a degree in communications, you're gonna be the most important voice for us for the next 25 years. You know that?
I mean, that's pretty heavy, but
It's it's heavy, but guess what we're doing now? We're
see, the
trying to
issue
get
that I have,
we
the issue
good?
that I have as a communication, I understand how to communicate, but truth be told, many of our people really don't want to hear the messages that I have, including the most pushback that I receive is mostly from actually other black men. Um, I actually had some
but
scenarios.
listen to what you're
you want
saying, brother.
you want a bit of
But
advice?
listen to what you're saying, brother. I'm saying I understand what you're saying, but listen to what you're saying, brother. The Muslims coming back from your people. Because what they did, what they did is they gave dysfunctional people money.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
what a lot of black people look at as we feel like that's what's making us take it to the next level. That's what they did.
Let me put
Because
it to you this way.
when dudes, I take it back to music. When it comes to music, There was a lot of brothers back in the day that was also inspirational music. What they started doing, they started giving dysfunctional dudes the money. And
Yep.
in this era that we live in right now, you feel like money means everything because, and I understand that because money, you need money to survive. When you hear somebody try to fight against money, you're gonna look at them crazy. Like, what you talking about? I need money to survive.
You know, it's
But
funny.
all the dysfunctional motherfuckers, they give them money. When we had dudes that was spitting some real shit in their music, they didn't give them no money.
Yep. You got to remember this. This is the reason why you got to carry it. Myself is Cerulean Gray. Shout out to Cerulean. He's doing an honors video honoring me right now. I, s- I feel so humbled and honored. And I don't really like to say that I'm humbled. And he's
Salute.
actually saluting and honoring me for my contributions to the black community. See, this is the reason why when you come to places like this, and I'm glad you got a good brain on your shoulders and a good head to keep it housed, is because you're learning. When Cerulean and I 3 years ago came up with the Gray Falcon Initiative, guess who were our biggest opponents?
Black men.
Oh,
That's
black
it.
men don't need to be in the black man's
Of
military.
course.
How
Yeah,
do you
of
think?
course.
How do you
Come
think we
on.
gain? If a million black men, which is not much, right? If a million black men were in the armed services, how fast do you think we would get reparations? How fast?
Real shit.
I would
That's
say,
some real shit.
I
I'd rather them back a
don't know
spit
how
you.
that correlates though, but
Let me
Yeah,
ask you
I'd
something.
rather them spit you.
are you
If
saying
you're
It's
are
just
you
real.
saying that if we were militarized that we would take it by force?
no,
No, I don't think
if you're
that.
the
I don't
mayor of
think
the
that.
city,
We
if you're the
can't.
mayor of the city, who do you pay first?
You pay the military.
You pay the police, your paramilitary organization, which is your police. You pay the three organizations. I'm gonna teach you something real quick. These are the three entities that you need: police, fire, sanitation. Well, we could put
Mm-hmm.
the fourth as Department of Works, City Works, because you need water and electricity, especially the first three. Because guess what? If nobody picks up your trash, how many diseases will come about?
Yeah.
If
That's what I'm
nobody's
saying.
there,
Dude,
if there's
hey,
nobody
brother.
there to keep your city safe, you don't have a city. If your city does not have
Dudes,
police who are also your medics, you will also fall. You pay the
dudes that we
motherfuckers
playing
with the
against.
guns first. Why? Because them guns can easily be turned on you. It's called
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
the French
Dudes that we
Revolution.
playing against, Charles. The dudes that we playing against, Charles.
Charles, the issue with
Mastermind.
what the issue with
The
what
dudes
you're
that
saying
we
is
playing
that
against,
you're
the
thinking
dudes that we
logically.
playing against is masterminds. That's what I'm trying to say. A lot of these dudes is playing checkers, while the people that's in power is playing in chess. It's a whole different game. The board looks
Yeah,
the same. The board looks the same, but the game ain't the same.
game ain't the same as to be sold, not told. That what we saying, Jerry?
Come on.
I was saying that,
Come
that
on, bro.
the issue with what
Come
you're
on,
saying is
man.
that
Charles,
you're
don't do
thinking
that. Don't
logically.
do that, Charles. Don't do that, Charles. Like I said, I'm not supposed to be on this panel. I'm telling
Think
y'all,
about it. And
I am a
what
official
paddle can you
hood
have a
dude.
former? Think about that. What paddle can you have a former gang leader, the cop, or the same goddamn paddle? You gotta love this shit.
Yeah,
That's
that's
what I'm
amazing.
saying. This is
Honestly,
real shit.
that's amazing to see.
This is
And
real
now what we
game y'all
saying,
getting
Jalen?
right now.
And what we saying,
Go ahead,
Jalen?
Joe.
I was saying that number one, that's amazing to see that you can have a cop and a former gang member. But the other thing that I was saying is that the issue with what everything you said, Charles, is that you were thinking logically.
You gotta force people. I'm gonna tell you one thing about my wrestling coach. Hallowed be that name, Larry Brown, Senior. He would say, "I'm gonna make you great, even if it kills you." See, you gotta stop thinking for the here and now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're right.
You gotta stop
I gotta
thinking.
respect what Charles is saying. With the same token, I'm a 5%er. I grew up in New York City,
Yep.
and the government cut a deal with us because they saw how powerful he was, how powerful he was, the message he was putting out there. Our message
Yeah.
came right after Malcolm.
Yeah.
The message that the 5%ers was doing came right after Malcolm.
And
We
I just
knew the
found that.
game. And I
I
know a lot
just,
of y'all brothers don't like hearing game. Y'all feel like game is like a bad word. You have to have game.
yeah, you do.
The people you
You gotta
playing
know how to
against,
speak. You gotta know
the
how to
people
speak.
that you playing against have game.
And
What you think
salute
they
to
do on a
some
daily basis? What you
and
think they
salute
do
to
when they
some of
give
my
you what you think they do when they give you out a $1,200 stimulus? That's
oh yeah,
game.
that's game. That's to keep you in control. And
Hey,
also salute.
I
That's
gotta make it.
game.
Go ahead.
I gotta
Go ahead.
make
Go
it.
ahead.
Go ahead.
I gotta make it. But I just want to say this one thing, man. Look, it's always been about the black man. No matter
Oh,
what anyone thinks and says, it's always.
He said nothing slick, bro. Talking to me, you definitely ain't said nothing slick, bro. Cause everything in my life is about black people. 'Cause black people to me is God. That's what my name is. You see what my name is in the chat, Cain.
Listen,
Same stuff.
listen,
Got a lie. The reason I
listen,
put the
hold on,
stud
King.
there, the reason I put
Hold
the
on,
stud
King.
there.
Hold on.
No,
Let him
no,
finish.
hold on.
Hold up. Let him
Go
finish,
ahead,
King.
go ahead, bro. Go
listen,
ahead.
listen. Um, since our inception to so-called America, even before that, it's always been about the black man. And when the black man, the ones that are not seeing into the reality that it's always been about the black man, then we can have a better conversation on how to build. Because we've always built. Black
Of
men
course.
have always been. That's why they made a point to exploit us. Listen, yeah, to tear apart our character. It's always been about the black man. So
Yeah.
I'll leave y'all with that.
Woo. Can we
And
get a
Yeah.
woo off?
I'm gonna
Can we
say
get a
peace
woo
to
off
the
of that?
panel.
I agree.
Yeah, that's big facts. Because you gotta remember when you speak on movies, if you even for you go movie terms, what they call it, black exploitation movies.
Yeah.
Do
And
you
that's
know
that's
something?
what
Do you
it's
know something
about.
called white exploitation movies? Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah, they
Have you
do.
heard of
They're called
white
westerns.
exploitation movies?
Yeah, they're called westerns.
Man, even with the westerns, even with the even
All
with
right,
the
y'all.
westerns, it's still leave it back
All right,
up.
man. Woo! Thank you for being on the panel.
Peace,
Yes, sir.
peace, bro.
See, I'm
Like
gonna
I
explain
said,
this. I'm gonna explain this. I'm gonna say this real quick for Jalen, especially for Jalen. You gotta be steadfast because if there's a message that you hold, I'm gonna challenge you to do your research. Now you know you can't come to Uncle. You my new nephew, right?
Yeah.
You know Uncle Charles is gonna challenge your ass on everything. Because if you haven't realized this, I'm not a dumb motherfucker. I don't even hang around dumb motherfuckers. If you trust me, every chick, almost 90% of the chicks have more education on paper than me, and each one of them tell you I can't hold a candle to that motherfucker. Chicks take me around their bosses, they take me around their CEOs, and I'm wrapping the CEO around my little finger off of styling, profiling, and intellectualism. Okay? You gotta be tight with your shit. Because there's going to be chimes on my channel. We're going to do cigar tasting. We're going to do how do you put a suit on and how do you get it edited. Excuse me, tailored. How you do certain things, how to join the military, how to join the fire department, how to join law enforcement. We're also going to help you on how to get your message across to the masses. So I don't know if you got a channel. Guess what? If Jalen got a channel, put the motherfucking link. Everybody here, subscribe to the motherfucker because in a year I'm gonna challenge his ass, and I'm gonna be. Woo, somebody look like he got some fight up in him. And guess
Yeah,
what?
I got some kills on deck. Yeah, I got some kills. I got some kills on deck. Hold on.
Yeah. I'm gonna just put you on peace for a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna challenge you. I'm just gonna challenge you because you got to be the voice of the young brothers. I could still be, but I'm closer to 40 than I am 25. You feel me?
Yeah.
You're gonna have to be my eyes and ears. You're gonna have to get all your friends from college, all your friends on work who want to come to panels like this. Because guess what? Did we not treat you like a grown ass man?
Yeah, and that's what I'll say is that that's I kind of been watching the YouTube scene, and what I appreciate about what you do is you really don't have you don't try to again. I was able to have a discussion with you. A lot of times people want to debate. I'm not really trying to debate with anyone because when you try to debate, then everybody's more focused on being right than trying to find what is right. And I think a lot of people get caught up in that, and that's why we never really get anywhere because we're not trying to have a discussion. We're trying to have a debate and see who's more intellectual.
That's
Like,
big fact.
I'm not into
Big
that. If
fact.
you got wisdom for me, if you got something for me, then share it. You know what I'm saying? That's
Exactly.
fine. It's
I'm
no
not
right
about.
or wrong.
I could do a healthy debate. That's why I opened it up tonight. I would have still been. It was still a pleasure to talk to BGS and learn stuff. Believe it or not, there's some stuff that I taught BGS, and he'll tell you. BGS is not somebody above listening and learning. He says when it comes to law enforcement, exercise, rehabilitation, even comic books, he says I'm quiet. I lean to your information and your knowledge. I
Yeah,
can
that's
learn
big
from
fact.
anybody. See, the one thing I'm proud of my audience, it may not be as big as some other places, but I appreciate every last one of you motherfuckers. Whoa! Why? Because we deal with the intellectual, whether if it's the fellas, the ladies, and who else. I got teenagers who listen to me, who call me on my cell phone or email me. I have friends who always say, "Look, we love what you're saying." Because one damn thing I'm never going to let you do is excuse yourself from being a goddamn man. Just like I would go to a lady, I will never excuse you from being a goddamn woman. Your message need to be sold, not told. We'll give part of it for free to captivate the audience, but if you want more, you got to put a little paper with it make it. Okay? See, I'm about them ends and the motherfucking dividends. Okay? I don't believe in giving nothing for fucking free all the time. I am willing to donate, and I am not afraid to donate my strength and my time and my wisdom. But eventually, you're gonna have to pay. If I tell everybody who's listening right now, I got what 10 people listening. If 10 people would have got 5 people to subscribe to me, how many people do you think would be listening to me right now? If 10 people would have got 10 people to subscribe, I'd be over 1,000 subscribers right now.
That's a fact.
Think about it.
Once
I am one
again,
of the
like I'm telling you.
exactly. I am one of literally. I am probably the only place you could go talk to a cop one-on-one, a black cop at that, who
Yeah,
keeps it raw.
like I was telling people earlier on the stream. Once again, I played cops and robbers with a dude like Charles my whole life. So for me to be on this panel right now, this is super strange to me. But like, I know what it is. Like I'm not about that life no more. It is what it is. Fair warning. It is what it is. I'm not about that life no more. But that life is in my heart. In my heart, that life is still there. But logically, I'm a different type of dude.
Exactly.
That's
We
why I
all have
could
to
jump
grow
on a
up.
panel like this.
We all
That's
have
why
to
I could
grow up
jump
and
on a
talk
panel
about
like this.
it. And the one thing I want you to take away from this, Jalen,
I'm listening.
We love who we were. We enjoy who we are, but we look forward to who we're going to be. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Don't ever let anybody take you from your path. Don't ever let anybody go astray. Because now I'm getting to the point of my wisdom years, like a Cain and like a Gold, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting into their years. I've done my running and gunning with the military police. Hell, I've done my running and gunning, clubbing, and street hopping. But eventually, in 10 more years, I got to give it up to you, brother, to carry the torch. Even Mike Vick had to give the torch to Lamar. You feel me?
Yeah, I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? I appreciate this conversation because there's things that, you know, my mind, I'm already kind of, I would say that the message that I have is not being used in a constructive way because I see things on social media and reacting to people, you know, that's not really working. You know what I'm saying? But I have a need to want to enlighten or want to, you know, talk to people about issues because I see what they don't see, you know. But I feel like, you know, a YouTube channel, just to be honest, I wouldn't be part of the manosphere. To be honest with you,
Exactly.
I
Look
would
what
be
my
for
man like.
Black
Look
men,
what my
but I
man.
wouldn't necessarily be part of the manosphere.
Look what my man
Sure.
like. Oh, so I want you to read it out loud.
What, Michael White?
Yeah, that's my man from work. We used to work together.
It's a mission from certain classes to keep blacks from being policed by incarceration, tough background processing, music, etc., because they don't want us to control our destiny and other blacks' destiny.
I want you to remember that. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna give you my personal cell phone number in the back chat. Anytime you got some issues, hit me up. I refuse for you to fucking fail. You understand?
Yes, sir.
We don't deal with failures. You know, we don't negotiate with terrorists. We don't deal with failures.
Amen. I appreciate it, man. I do, man. So I'll be paying attention to your channel, taking your number down. It's just funny you said that, man, because like I see stuff on, you know, social media, man, and like I get my girl, I'm like breaking stuff down to her because I don't have a YouTube channel that I can break stuff down to. She's like, "What are you talking about this video?" I'm like, "You don't see the issue that we have in our community, and I can take a social media video and like break it down."
Oh yeah, trust me. I'm very articulate, but I will break down everything. Just like when people tell me, "Oh, you know where police started." No, you don't. If you tell me it came from the slave catchers, I'm already won the argument because you don't know what you're fucking talking about. So I like to break shit down and support younger brothers because guess what? If we don't fuel the next flame, then we're gonna snuff it out and exhaust it. If I'm the reigning king or about to be crowned king, guess what? I'm not gonna be able to rule forever. So
And that's
black people need to get out this notion of praying for leaders, and we need to start grooming them. I'm grooming you while I'm being groomed. Because guess what? BGS is 60. I'm 38. BGS is a legitimate grandfather. Eventually, he's grooming me to take his spot when he wants to retire in the sunshine. Doesn't mean he's not going to stop teaching, but you know, he's like, yo, you debate these motherfuckers. And you saw how everybody wanted to debate me. I opened it up. I have no fear. Motherfucker, do you know what I do for a living? I chase motherfuckers with guns.
right.
I'm like,
I'm done. I've been in a uniform for 21 years for God and country. Okay, when people tell me these bullshit ideologies, I salivate like a fucking lion when he sees a gazelle. Because number one, when you and notice I had to correct him so many times about some black domestic terrorists that it angered me. Do
Yeah,
you know I got international motherfuckers listening to my channel, and I didn't even notice till they told me where they live. I have white people listening to my channel. I'm not afraid to have white people fellowship and communicate with me. Because guess what? We're all in this together. And I tell this to any fucking white person. Where the black people go, you're next to follow. Mark my fucking words. If we go, you know you're gone. If the original people go, you're done.
absolutely. Yeah, that's true.
So when you got this fear of spreading your message, you're not going to save everybody. Sorry. One of the greatest Superman stories is this. And to give you a summary of what the story is, just because you have the strength to move the world doesn't mean you have the strength to move the people in it. Some deep shit, isn't it?
Mm.
You literally got a being who's strong enough to move a planet by hand, but he's not strong enough to move the people within it. No matter how powerful you become, if people cannot empathize with you, you cannot move the system. This is the reason why I like having interactive programming. There's not a lot of people who talk to the police. I know this. I am no better than you, and I am no better than the sum totals of myself. What's up, woman of the past? Yes, Mike, you true. How many times do we hear all the time? I wanted to be a cop before I got in trouble. There are so many guys who dealt in drugs, who dealt in crime, who look at guys like me and Mike and say, look, we love you because we wanted to be you. You look at guys like Kane. Like you said, we play cops and robbers. He doesn't just mean that when he did his dirt and his shit, because guess what? All of us got some dirt. Some of us just not good to be caught up on it. How about that?
Real shit.
But guess what? There are so many goddamn dealers and OGs out there who give me the utmost respect and so stand up and salute me because they look at you like, nigga, you Captain America, Superman, and every goddamn hero wrapped up into one. You are the best of us, and we will never let you fucking forget it. I carry that shit like a burden. You know how many times I've been coaching wrestlers for 20 years? Guess how many years I got paid for it? I want you to guess, Jalen.
Maybe recently, maybe a few years, or you never got paid for it.
I never got paid for it.
Well, I can tell that from you. Like I said, if I do start a YouTube channel, which I believe, with your help, or just a way to get my message, it has zero to do with money. But
okay,
I wouldn't be averse.
Hold up, you got your YouTube page up, right?
You said what?
You got your YouTube page up, right?
No, I mean I have a YouTube account, but I don't have a, you
You
know.
have a YouTube account, right? All right, I need you to do some cocky shit. I need you to be arrogant. I want you to grab your nuts, talk your shit right now. I want you to, no, grab your nuts and talk your shit right now and convince the audience listening to why they should subscribe to you. And a one, two, three, go.
The whole world is set on keeping the black man from everything.
Hold on. Let me give you a little help with that. Whoa!
You gotta say
The
it with
whole
your chest.
world. There we go. Like
Yeah,
that.
you gotta say it with your chest. You gotta say it with your
That's it.
chest.
With your chest out, goddammit. All right. Grab your nuts and you gotta talk like you got the biggest dick in the room, my boy. Go ahead. Come on. Go. Convince these motherfuckers to subscribe to you.
Listen, man, the entire planet is set up to keep you distracted from the things that you need to be focused on. There are a few things that us as black men need to really get back to, and
Louder.
yes, there are a few things that the black man needs to get back to, which is getting back to a culture, respecting each other, and analyzing the traps that in this environment that befall us, and ways to get around it and to be successful throughout it. Once we do that, everything else will fall into place. So if you want to learn more about that and you want to get entertainment as well as education, come to my channel.
Can we get a woo from the?
There
Can we
you
get
go.
a woo for that one?
Woo!
No, Kane, please tell him that's not how you woo.
Woo!
Do I need to show you how to woo?
Yeah, show me how to
All
move.
of us on the panel are gonna do it on three, loud and proud. 1, 2, 3.
Woo!
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 That's how you woo. Subscribe to
Damn
them
it.
right goddamn now. Put your shit in the chat.
Like I said, I don't have it. I don't have it yet. I want to think of a name. You know what I'm saying? But
Even if you don't have a name, put your shit in the chat so when you have your name, people will follow you. I try to think of a slick ass name, but I'm stuck with Charles Faulkner Jr., so that's what people know me as. People see my face. It's the Superman complex. People see your face and you got nothing to hide, so people fuck with you. You know, people be like,
Yeah, I could
"Oh,
dig that.
you're cocky, you're arrogant." No, I'm not arrogant. I'm confident. I have these skills and abilities for the last 20 some odd years. I'm pretty cool with it. Hell, one of my wrestlers, he's a heavyweight. Every time he wants to get ready for the tournament, he'd call me up. We got up. One day, we wrestled so fucking long for 2 hours, we both lost about 10, 15 pounds. How do we know? We actually weighed on the scale before and after we wrestled around. And guess what? That motherfucker actually got second in the nation. He's like, "Come on, coach. I need that work." I was like, "So do I."
Yes, but
I
yes.
got the stamina.
Yeah, it's like my cousin is on some bodybuilding shit.
So go ahead.
My cousin is a bodybuilder. He done won a couple of championships.
Oh yeah. And guess
He done
what?
won a couple of championships.
And guess what? Get your cousin up on here too, because we're gonna do a panel on fitness and health. Don't think we just gonna do some smoking a cigar, because we know we gotta reverse some of that damage that we do from the fun lifestyle that we have. Guess what? I don't want nobody to drink if you're not gonna put the work in to keep you healthy. Yes, sometimes we have the permission to live a little freer, but guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna style and profile, and we're gonna live long and strong. See, we about the healthy thing. See, guess what? I like an audience that keeps it real. Oh, so fun. I used to sell drugs. So what, nigga? Am I judging you? I'm a cop. I'm not a judge.
That's what I'm trying to tell these brothers. Like right now, me being on this panel is like this touches me in so many type of different ways, because I'm a dude that really came from the street. That's why I usually stay away from I stay away from Charles Paddles, even though I follow him. But I stay away from his channels. I'm like,
Guess
yo,
what?
damn, I want the street
And guess
dudes.
what,
I
Kane?
want to really
I'm
jump
gonna
on there.
And guess what, Kane? We're gonna have you on one of my panels where I interview you where you talk about your life. Because I have teenagers and young adults is primarily my fucking viewership. We're gonna talk about the real shit of the streets, of how the streets used to be, and why young black men need to focus on themselves.
Exactly. Even though and that's the thing. Even though I did whatever I did in the streets, I still focused on myself. Like I was telling a lot of people that heard my story. I'm sure a lot of people heard my story before. I was a dude that my mother was sick from. I was a young kid. She passed when I was young, and then like I'm telling brothers, I linked up with my father, so it doesn't always mean that you link up with your father is always gonna play out right. I linked up with my father, and me and him scuffled. Me and him got into a scuffle because I was a street dude. I was strong-minded in the way I thought. And this is this a story that plays out for a lot of dudes. A lot of dudes, just the way it plays out. That's what I'm saying. It's tossed up. And they always want to blame it on the black chick. I get it. Cause my mom has treated me like a king. Even though I know that's like a taboo thing in this day and age where they say, oh, the king thing. No, but my mom's gave me whatever I wanted. But once my mom's passed, but my mom was sick. My mom was sick. She couldn't really hold me down like that. And this is a storyline that black people have so many different storylines. When it comes to us, it's so many different storylines.
Please say that again because they didn't hear you though.
There's many different storylines when it comes to us as black folk. There's so many different storylines. It could play out any type of different way.
Oh
I grew
yeah.
up in a life where I didn't have no adult in my life. I didn't have no adult. I raised myself, and right now I'm 42, and I made it
Yeah.
because I was a street nigga, but I was a street nigga with my head on my shoulders. When
You
I
know,
hear them say the Pookie and Ray Ray thing, it semi offends me sometimes. Like, I get it. 'Cause I know the dumb Pookie and Ray Rays, but there is some type of smart Pookie and Ray Rays that they just get. This is the cards that they was dealt.
do you know how
This
many?
is the card. Go ahead.
Do you know how many of the Muslim and Christian brothers and sisters, donates to your boy that helps your boy out? I had people from the FOI who I worked with for years. When it came to students and education, when they see me, they shaking hands, taking pictures is all love. To all my Islamic and Muslim faith, assalamu alaikum,
No
and I
doubt.
and I salute y'all. Same thing to my Jewish and my Christian brothers and sisters. Like literally,
Hmm.
I've learned, and this is one thing I want you to take from it, Jalen. I've learned to talk about my life and try to be a blessing to others. And so many times the little shit that I've done for people was monumental. When there were
Say that
times
shit
before I
again,
was an
Charles.
officer about to be put out of a
Charles, say
fucking
that
house,
shit. No, hold on, Charles. You gotta say that shit again. Wow,
there
I'm
were
sure a
so
lot of
many
brothers ain't
times
hear that.
there were so many times the little blessings that I were monumental to me. When your boy was going through struggles before he was a cop about to be put out of a house, you had Christian, Jewish, atheist people looking out for me.
That's
You
big
had
facts.
people. You had people speaking out for me. You had my
That's
coach,
big facts.
Larry O'Neill Brown, senior, looking out for me, who said he saw something. I worked hard, got beat in my first match. My first year, I won the championship. I had to go through 3 overtimes. That was a monumental thing, and I did not win that alone because I didn't just go in that match by myself. I had a whole goddamn team behind me. And
Hmm.
that's the point of Black Facebook, Black Instagram, and Black YouTube. You're not one. You may be one of many, but you will forever remain unique. Okay?
That's
There is
big
no
facts to
reason
say
why a
right
guy
there.
like Jalen and a guy like Kane shouldn't have over 1,000, 2,000, 20,000 subscribers telling their fucking stories.
And that's the
There
crazy
shouldn't be
thing.
a
'Cause I want to put, I
25.
want to put, I want to put content out there. It's content
You
I want to
should.
put out there, but I just know the lifestyle I live, and I know the way a lot of these black folk go down. They're gonna try to find something, try to tear nigga.
Guess
And the
what?
crazy part is that I don't care about them trying to tear me down. That really doesn't matter because I know I live the life I live. I don't try to hide. That's why I try to tell brothers. Me being on this panel right now is strange to me because I
It's
would have
good.
never thought myself see myself on a panel where I'm chopping up with a brother that actually is the officer of the law.
Also, the
'Cause,
goddamn law. It's the
come on,
same
man.
thing I tell Jalen. My father told me a valuable lesson. When people don't like you, guess what my father told him? I want you to guess what Charles Singer told me. Fuck them.
Yeah, fuck up. Yeah, that's what I got.
That's what
I ain't
Bernie
gonna
Mac.
lie to you. That's
Bernie
what I
Mac right
got.
there.
He said, fuck
And
them.
it's
And they
crazy
whoop
because
you.
I
He said,
live by that to this day.
you know what he told me? He's born and raised from Baltimore, but both his parents are from Virginia. So he's a country city boy. He's literally took a GED test. He went 2 points from acing the test, meaning he was 2 points from getting a perfect score.
Hmm.
Went to Vietnam, came back, went to diesel mechanic school, went to drafting school, meaning he could literally build a house just from drawing it to the brick.
To the next level.
He
Took
could
it to the next level.
he worked for a judge who had flooding in his basement, literally ankle to knee deep water, and built it to the point where he built a brand new bathroom. He didn't just put tile in the ground square, he put it as diamonds, which is very hard to do.
Mm-hmm.
He put a
Mm-hmm.
wet bar in a fireplace and sealed the basement to the point it doesn't get any water in there anymore. You tell about a
Yeah,
guy
that's
who you're talking about a guy who so-called these wannabe educated women would say, oh, he ain't smart. Took a house that had 20 dogs and 40 cats in it, and it was about to be condemned by the city. By the time he got finished in 4 months, it sold for $500,000.
yeah. I know
And
put that
guess what
all
he
too
said?
well.
Fuck them. Can the motherfuckers, if you took each one of them motherfuckers, can they whoop your ass? I said, hell no. Fuck them. Did they put food on your table? No. Fuck them. Did they feed your son? No. Fuck them. This story doesn't have to
Absolutely.
be for everybody because guess what? Your boy here, I'm going to be on internet radio. And in the coming weeks, I'm going to promote that shit on my page because I'm not going to be just doing radios on internet radio for Baltimore. We're going from Baltimore to Ghana and several countries in between.
Yeah, that's big. That's big right there.
I like to call my shit Faulknerism. Faulknerism isn't just Baltimorean, it is global. I'm pretty sure the motherfuckers on Mars and Krypton are going to be listening too. That's why I said, don't you ever let somebody tell you your story isn't valuable. Because you are valued. Remember that. Some of us are ones, some of us are tens, but guess what? You still fucking carry your value. And it doesn't mean you got to stay at that value either.
Exactly.
But they don't hear me though. Come on, Jalen. I want to hear you talk your shit.
What you mean?
Hey, Tell more
What's your
people
shit?
about.
What you
Tell more
got,
people
bro?
about
Add
you.
on to the conversation.
Tell more people about you. Tell more people about talk your shit. Tell them about where you from, where you grew up, where you live, why they
Yeah,
should listen to you, what type of content you're gonna bring them, why are they gonna pay you? Because I know goddamn well my subscribers are not stingy and we're not broken. We always support, right, subscribers? Go ahead, talk your shit.
yeah, man. I'm just 25-year-old from Charlotte, North Carolina, man.
Hold on,
Just
hold on, hold on. You from where?
Charlotte, North Carolina.
No, no, no. You can't say it like, whoa,
Yeah, he
Charlotte,
said he's
North
yeah.
Carolina,
He's from Charlotte. What's
Yes,
you
going on
gotta
out
do
there in Charlotte?
I'm trying to,
Charlotte.
I'm trying to keep it down. You know what I'm saying? Because my girl is, she's in another room. Like I said, I got to get the whole setup right and everything.
Hold on, hold on, hold on. At least whisper it. Oh, Charlotte. Oh, woo.
Right, right. Like I said, from Charlotte, man. Like, and ever since a young man, I always, felt alienated from other people. Not just my, some people in you can say my community, but just more so as a kid. Like when I was young, my mom made sure I was in all the honors classes. So I saw from a young age that our white counterparts are not in any way smarter than us, but they were pushed, into these different environments or into these different positions, and they were propelled to do that. So it's not the fact that we're incapable of being successful or that we're incapable of achieving great things. It's the fact that we need to embrace that and put that in the forefront before what we're told to validate us. For example, money should validate you, or women should validate you, or clothes should validate you. It's more so about your own happiness, your own peace of mind, your own success, finding out what you're talented at, finding out what you're gifted at, and using that to your best ability. And that's what should validate you first. So if anybody felt like, I feel like every black man really feels like an alien in this country because we feel like we're part of it, but we're not really fully accepted. So that's why we come to YouTube channels to get our point across, because there's really no other platform. Literally, there's no other platform in the entire world where we can really go to and just, express how we feel. So that will be a place. My channel will be a place where we discuss those topics more so in a breakdown of things that really happen, and then I'll kind of break down how our mind state is, how our mind state and how the issues or the issues that we have, how it plays out in the real world. And you can see it every single day on World Star. You can see it every day on social media. You can see it every day. And a lot of brothers don't really realize that the same issues that we see on social media is it's a repeat of the same thing that we keep facing. So I'm gonna just take the blinders off, let y'all see it for what it is, and let you start thinking for yourself.
That's what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
About to shut the joint
Absolutely.
down in about a minute or two. Hey, Kane and Rodney, Jalen Rodney, we want you to give your last words.
All I gotta say pretty much is that what Brother Rodney just broke down, that's basically how majority of us see things. It's like you gotta take it to the next level, understand where you at, and you have to understand the history. The history plays a big point, and where we at right now. But you have to get that understanding and gain knowledge of self. All I gotta say is knowledge of self is key. You have to know the knowledge of how this everything played out in life that you go through here. And you just gotta make it happen. Y'all gonna see me. I'm around. Kane. That's my name. Little killers around. Killers like, shut up. But yeah, I got my killers around, but y'all gonna see me around. I got more content to bring to you, brothers. I'm gonna be around. You can chop it up.
And Jalen, good time.
Yeah, man. Just appreciate it. Definitely support what you're doing. I subscribe. I liked it. I liked the video. Looking out for more content from you, man. And if you just any advice about this YouTube thing since you've been on it, man. I'm all ears. And you're right, man. I can't let the fact that I'm gonna get pushback from a lot of things that I say doesn't negate the fact that what I'm saying is the truth. So it's just about doing it. Whoever hears it, whoever's willing to listen, stay with it, and eventually it'll just keep growing and growing.
Hey, you know what they say? You got enemies? Good. You stood for something. Woo! And we are out, and we are good.
Peace.
Later, folks. Woo!
Go
Peace.
to the chat. Woo!